Three Demons Book 2, Chapter 8, The Hunt for Kazuto. As Kazuto heads downtown to get away from the rest of the company, the people who he came to know as his friends, he looks to find some peace and quiet as rain pours from the sky, the clouds blocking out the sun, leaving a darker landscape throughout the town. Kazuto looks up and sees a familiar foe, a familiar priest with a wicked smile. "Oh well, if it isn't the pretty boy who ruined my plans!" Creed yelled out at Kazuto. Kazuto stares through Creed as he continues to speak. "What's this? Not in the mood to speak? Well, let me fix that then." Creed then pulls out a blade that causes Kazuto's eyes to widen. "You recognize this, don't you? This is one of those fragments of Excalibur, Tizona the sword. A friend of mine loaned this out to me to purge you demons off the face of this planet," Creed says, running after Kazuto. Creed begins swinging wildly at Kazuto. However, these untimed swings make it easy for Kazuto to dodge. Kazuto drops close to the ground and leg sweeps Creed, causing him to fall to the ground himself, allowing Kazuto to push a bone blade out of his palm and aim for Kazuto's brain, or Creed's brain. However, Creed is able to use Tizona to deflect the attack, using a counterattack to swing Kazuto into a nearby wall. "Just as always, you remain persistent. The only difference is that look in your eyes. You're a lot more bloodthirsty now than you were last time. I like that." Creed begins monologuing, granting Kazuto enough ample time to plant an attack on Creed. Kazuto places his palm flat onto the ground, in a place Creed couldn't easily see. Kazuto then fires a small bullet-like bone into the ground, directing it underground to fire at Creed. The bone bullet flies out of the ground, flying directly into Creed's left eye. Creed grabs his face and begins shouting in pain, blood pouring out of his orbit as Kazuto hops up, a bone sword properly ready as he stabs Creed in the abdomen. "You're right, Creed. I am bloodthirsty. But I can promise this. It's not for you. I honestly don't care about what you did to Randy and Asuka all those months ago. The only reason you're going to die today is because you wield a fragment of the thing I hate more than anything, Excalibur." Kazuto reveals to Creed as he smiles back at Kazuto. As Kazuto is distracted by Creed smiling at him, Creed runs his hand through Kazuto's blade, cutting his hand open. Creed throws his blood into Kazuto's eyes, forcing him to step backwards slightly, giving Creed enough time to swing Tizona at Kazuto, cutting him on his arm. Whilst Kazuto's blade is still inside of him, Creed begins slashing at Kazuto's body, only being able to slash at his arms due to him blocking all the shots, as blood begins pouring from his arms due to the swings. Creed then starts laughing maniacally. "What was that you were saying? I was going to be the one to die tonight? That was really cute." Creed screams out as Kazuto flicks his fingers, causing his blade to fly out all the way through out of Creed throughout behind him, causing him to cough up blood. Kazuto then moves his fingers in a motion that tells the blade to come back to him. His blade makes a U-turn as it flies through Creed's right shoulder, back into Kazuto's hand. The blade turning from a bone white to a blood red as Kazuto jumps back up, barely able to see as he slashes Creed across the chest. Creed drops down to one knee, coughing up blood and holding one of his wounds to keep from losing any more blood. Kazuto just stares at him with anger in his eyes. Kazuto then raises his blade to make the final blow, but before he hears a blowing noise coming from behind him. Kazuto turns around and sees a bald, wrinkled old man wearing clown makeup, smoking a cigar. "Who the hell are you?" Kazuto attempts to confront the clown until he suddenly appears before him, staring up at him, grabbing a hold of a flower on his clown suit. "You need to laugh every once in a while, kid," the clown tells him as a mist shoots out from the flower into Kazuto's face as he begins to giggle and chuckle uncontrollably. "You know, Creed, when the boss gave you that blade, he expects you to be able to do your job," the clown tells Creed, picking him back up onto his feet. Kazuto looks back up at the two, still laughing, with blood still in his eyes, as fallen angel wings appear on the clown's back as he and Creed fly away into the sky. Back at the clubhouse, the remainder of the group sit there, Rhea holding on to Benji at her desk, Randy and Asuka sitting together opposite sides of Ava and Kitsune. Randy is clearly frustrated with the whole situation. "Are we seriously not going to do anything for Kazuto?" "I'm sorry, Randy. That is his business for him to deal with, Rhea tells Randy, trying to calm him down. Oh, bullshit! What are you gonna do if he doesn't come back? Randy starts raising his voice at Rhea, which results in a glare from her, something that isn't phasing him at the moment. First of all, do not raise your voice at me. Second, he'll either end up dead or he'll be branded a rogue by higher-ups. After that, there isn't anything we can do about it, Rhea continues. That's correct. An unfamiliar voice appears in the room. Everyone turns and sees a blonde young woman sitting on the window. The woman, who has a halo floating above her head and a smirk on her face. Everyone immediately recognizes that an angel has arrived in their presence. May I ask who you are and why you are in my territory? Rhea asks the angel, putting Benji aside, who then hides behind her. Lady Rhea, you should know who I am. My name is Pierta Angelico. I am the personal messenger to Archangel Michael. Pierta reveals herself to everyone, causing everyone's eyes to widen. I do apologize, Miss Pierta, but may I ask why Michael's messenger is here and why my servant's issue is any concern to you? Rhea asks Pierta, her glare not leaving her sight. I was directed to inform you that Kazuto has begun acting on his own, attacking humans and engaging in battles against fallen angels. This is your warning to get control of him, or he'll be issued as a rogue by heaven. Randy then punches the coffee table, smashing it in half. What the hell is that supposed to mean? It means he'll be hunted by angels on a day-to-day basis. He has already broken protocol set by Yahweh. Pierta tells Randy with a bored expression on her face. Now, if you excuse me, I must go. I've already done my job here. Though I do believe we will see each other again soon. Pierta tells everyone, gazing across the room, but setting her last gaze on Randy, and it's a long one compared to the others. As she leaves, Randy stands there with his fist balled. Ava tries to place a hand on his shoulder, however he just bucks it off as he begins to walk out the door. Randy, I forbid you to go after Kazuto. If you Rhea begins to berate Randy, but is interrupted by him. Rhea, there's something you're just gonna have to deal with. I'm not going to listen to your orders. Now make sure Benji's taken care of. Randy tells Rhea before he storms out the door. There he goes again, always doing things without thinking first. Kitsune exclaims as she enjoys a sucker. Ava sighs and just looks at Rhea as she grabs the edge of her desk, letting out a very clear frustration as the desk begins to crack. Asuka herself, staring at the door Randy had just exited through, worried about what is going on in his head. Randy finds himself in his bedroom. He begins undoing the bandages Asuka had put on his arm the night before. A visible scar has formed on his shoulder where the crab dug into him. You know Rhea is going to beat the hell out of you later, right? Joseph asks in the subconscious. Oh, that sounds hot. Jake responds with a perverted look on his face. No, not like that! Joseph yells at Jake, pointing the knife hand at him. We all know this needs to be done, so why not do it this way? She was gonna let him get killed otherwise. Randy answers the two, knowing they also wanted to go after Kazuto. Of course, he is our buddy, but this is definitely not the way to do it. Joseph tries to convince Randy out of this, but Jake then intervenes. The hothead is right, Joseph. Rhea wasn't gonna listen to reason, but that doesn't mean you were wrong in saying she's gonna beat the hell out of us for it. But if you want Kazuto to live, this is the only way it's going to get done. End of Chapter 8.